Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the next 3 months. This is going to be for July through September and, basically quarter three. We're just going to jump right in here. You have this horse card. It says short journey, and you have this table. It says hard work ahead. And this is just coming up in your general energies for the next 3 months. You are a Capricorn, so why am I not surprised that there is a hard work card showing up here, right? But you are definitely, but you know what the thing is I feel like you're working on the right things with the judgment card showing up there. The judgment card has a certain, much more clarity, and I kind of feel like you are gaining much more clarity on what to work on, what to do, how to get ahead. I have a certain feeling of almost receiving answers that you've been looking for in your life, where maybe you've been confused about what you're supposed to do, or what your purpose is, quote unquote. And again, as I always say to people, to me, I think we are here on earth to create our own reality. That is our purpose. So I think too many people get caught up in thinking oh, I need to be a dentist, a lawyer, whatever. But it's maybe that's not your purpose. So modern society has kind of taken us away from that. But what I would say here is I feel like you're much more clear on maybe your quote unquote purpose, or what you're supposed to do. I also feel like you could be, I actually feel like this is good right here, going to the Nine of Swords. I do not like the Nine of Swords. To me, the Nine of Swords is the worst card in the tarot. I mean, some people might say Ten of Swords, but that guy is dead. It doesn't get much worse than that. Once you're dead, that's it, right? There is nothing bad after that, and you probably aren't even thinking about it once you're dead, right? So what I would say here is, to me, the Nine of Swords is much worse because you're stuck in a nightmare. But you have the Judgment card here, and again, I feel like you could be ending a nightmare. I would definitely be careful of a person who's trying to come back from the past, someone who's inconsistent, probably someone who wasted your time. I almost feel like this person blames you for things, even though it was totally their fault. So, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about this, but I would be careful of it over the next 3 months. We have Venus going retrograde. Venus retrograde it's not exactly like a Mercury retrograde, but it can bring up, past people. Venus goes retrograde on the 22nd. I think it ends on September 3rd. So literally, basically the whole third quarter, we have Venus retrograde. And, and again, don't quote me on that. I don't remember the exact dates, but I'm pretty sure that's exact or close to it. And so, again, when you put in the shadow and everything, might as well be the whole quarter, right? But again, I would be careful of that. I feel that you are stepping into a new life. It's I almost get the feeling too that if you were dealing with a person, I feel like this person was meant to trigger you. This is a higher self angel right here. It's almost like the universe brought a person into your life. And how do you know that this story is for you? I feel like this person is very stuck. I feel like they are exactly where they have been since you started the relationship. Maybe you haven't been with this person for years. Maybe you knew them years ago, right? But I feel like they are exactly the same. Nothing has changed. And I feel like you are changing. These people are rising up out of these coffins, and the coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin represents their new life. So I feel like there's a big difference here. And again, even if this is not, again, I'm not suggesting a person's coming back necessarily for all of you, but so for some of you, I feel like you're just changing your life, has nothing to do with a past person. But again, if you have been triggered, or if someone's coming in and triggers you from the past, it's probably just the universe being hey, remember, my dog's barking at the neighbor. I knew this was going to happen when I started my videos today. But again, what I would say here is that, again, sorry, she's super distracting. But I feel like for a lot of you, this is talking about needing to kind of look at the past, or look at the things that triggered you, so that you can let those things go. I also feel, again, that you're kind of stepping into a new life. You have this Page of Pentacles, something new coming in for you. So I would focus on the new, or focus on having something new. I also feel there could be new love coming in for you. We go like this: Page of Pentacles to the Magician to the Two of Cups. So again, if you want love, could be a new person. And you have divine counterparts right here: King and Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is your heart. So I feel for a lot of you, you need to either listen to your heart, or follow your heart, or kind of follow your values. So if you are attracting a new person in love, I would make sure that your values match up with the person that you're attracting. Again, if you have a past person here, I feel like your values did not match, or do not match, just in general. So Let's clarify this and see where it's going. But again, ultimately, I feel like you are rising up. You are like ascending into something like a much better life. I feel like that's where this reading is going. Yes, with the Judgment card, you have this Convention card. It's funny to me that all you Earth signs get this Convention card all the time, Capricorn. We are breaking free from convention. We have Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus kind of is an energy of freedom. And also, I would say that Pluto and Aquarius going next year as well doesn't want us to, convention is the way things have always been done. And so, again, if you're doing things the same way over and over and over again, expecting a different result, not going to happen. I feel that we are definitely in a time where we have to break free from convention. With the Page of Pentacles, you have this isolation card. If you want love and you're isolating yourself, I feel like you need to get out of the house, of course. But it does look like, to me, either see how this lady is like pulling this guy out of isolation? I feel like you could be attracting a person where it's like either they are in isolation or you are in isolation. I feel like someone here has a bad opinion of love, and it's like either you or this person, take how it resonates, changes the opinion of love, either your opinion or their opinion. Again, I kind of feel it from both sides. So, again, it could be two people who are very disappointed in love, just in general, coming together, and it's like both of you change each other's opinion of love. I hope that makes sense. With the Queen of Cups, you have this negotiation card. No settling. This is not a bad card. It's like Jupiter and Libra, this card, so it's not a bad card, but at the same time, I do feel it's encouraging you to not settle. And I feel like it's kind of like saying, don't just think that you're only ever going to be capable of, making a certain amount of money in business, for example. I feel this reading is encouraging you to grow more. That's where I'm going with this. I feel it's encouraging you to grow as much as possible. Next, in the area of what you need to hear right now, you have this Wombat spirit, says be at home, and you have this Canary spirit, says sing your song. Some of you could be spending time at home, but what I would say is this could be moving. You have the King of Cups here, and the King of Cups is a clue card for me. It's not always true, and again, this is not accurate tarot, but there are some cards in the tarot that I call clue cards because they're clue to me that something else is going on, if that makes sense. And so the King of Cups, to me, I call him the card of the home, and you have this other card of the home here. So some of you could be moving or traveling or looking to move. You even go down to the Three of Wands. You also have the Knight of Wands here. These are all cards of moving or traveling. It could be for love. You have the King of Cups, Two of Cups to the Three of Wands, like literally a long distance connection. Or, the other thing with the Two of Cups is that the Two of Cups can represent meeting a person from like a foreign location, foreign country, something like that. Those two people are meant to look very different on the Two of Cups because they come from two different worlds. So you could be attracting someone from a distance as well. I also feel that you need to sing your own song. I feel like it's really important that you are unique at this time with that Canary spirit because that's probably how you're going to manifest something. You have the King of Cups to the Magician, to the Five of Swords. The Magician, he's pointing to the Nine of Swords, which is interesting. I feel like he's saying for you to be able to manifest something in your life, I feel like you have to break a cycle with that Nine of Swords. Again, the Nine of Swords, I don't want to get too far ahead here, but the cycle is usually a comfort blanket, or it is usually a comfort zone because of this comfort blanket right here. He's got this blanket on his lap, and again, it kind of represents a comfort blanket. He's in a negative situation on the Nine of Swords, but he's not doing anything about it. It's not painful enough. I always tell a story, one of my favorite stories of all time, I think it's Les Brown, who talks about a neighbor's dog, and he's like, speaking of dogs, barking, going crazy, right? It's like a guy, his neighbor has a dog that lays on his porch, and it just moans and howls all day long. So eventually the guy goes to the neighbor's like, why does your dog moan and howl and bark all day long? And he says, because he's laying on a nail. And he says, why is he doing that? Why won't he move? And he said, because it's not painful enough yet. I'm paraphrasing, but I think you get the point. It's like, sometimes for us to leave a situation, it's 11:11, as I say this as well here, Capricorn. I think sometimes something has to become painful enough for us to make a change. But I feel like this is saying, don't let it get to that point before you make a change. It's like, I just, as a book nerd, someone who reads a ton of books, I've read a lot of books on success, of course, and because that's what I'm obsessed with. But, it's funny to me how, so many of these books, they have, the same story, where it's like the person starts out, becoming successful, starts a business, becomes super successful. They spend a certain amount of money. They realize that they're not really making money because they're spending, they might be making, $1 million a year, but they're spending that much as well. So their life hasn't changed. So, every story, they all say the same thing. They have that realization like, oh, I'm not making any money because I'm not putting any aside. I'm not actually saving money, and I can't even afford my, new BMW in my garage and blah, 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 blah. And they all come to the realization that they need to get disciplined and they actually have to work harder and they have to keep working because they can't let things get painful enough. So the reason is we all fall back into these patterns where it's like we start working towards something, we become successful, but then we in a way kind of don't maintain the success, or we stop doing things that make us successful because again it's not painful enough to keep us motivated. And I feel like this is saying you can skip all that. you can cut all that out by just kind of having good habits, but also by removing anything that is like the same for too long with that Nine of Swords. You have the Five of Swords here. Again, there's definitely some sort of breakup from your past that is affecting your love life, like literally like this right here. Are you kidding? Five of Swords is a breakup. Two of Cups is true love. Five of Pentacles is fearing being left out in the cold. That Five of Pentacles is coming up in the area of the good stuff, so I'm not too worried about it for you here, Capricorn. But what I would say is, look, two people. This might be a Scorpio that you're attracting, by the way. It could be any sign, but I said the same thing to Scorpio. Scorpio had the Five of Pentacles as well. And you have the King of Cups here, which could be, and the Queen of Cups. So it could be a water sign coming in for you, but Scorpio stands out to me because they have the same card. It's like there are two people on that card. It's almost like you in a future person. You're like on parallel paths. You're working towards the same things in life, but you're both focused on, being left out in the cold by a past person. So it's almost like you or a person needs to realize that you can come out of the cold, that there's something much better, something that won't leave you out in the cold. You have that isolation card, same thing. I don't know. Just put it all together here, Capricorn. With the King of Cups, you have the Lost card. This is Saturn and Pisces. We have Saturn and Pisces right now. So again, you could have experienced some sort of loss either before Saturn and Pisces or during Saturn and Pisces. But it's like time to, I feel like, let go or move on from the loss. It's kind of funny that I was talking about the Ten of Swords. With the Magician, you have this influence card. Definitely you could have been with a person who was heavily influenced to make a decision to leave you, by other people. Doesn't really surprise me. I see this a lot in readings. I don't think it's that surprising, I would say. It might have surprised you at the time, but, I've just noticed in the readings, like a lot of people, even for the past couple of years, there's been a lot about family coming up, but it hasn't always been positive. So, what I would say is that, you could have been with a person whose family was like, oh, don't be with this person. They listened, right? Which is always toxic in the first place. But, it could have been one of those situations. It's like, I wouldn't want to be with a person who is so easily influenced. And I think that's what you need to realize here is like, you need someone who sticks up for you, right? And I feel like you're attracting a person as well who maybe had an experience where a person didn't stick up for them. A person allowed influence to get between them. So, kind of really give me those ride or die vibes where it's like, you need a person who will be with you through thick and thin, right? That type of energy. And so I would be careful of influence as well. This card, I don't know if you saw it was at the bottom of the deck before I shuffled it, but it also has, throughout the shuffling, it keeps coming up. So definitely, there's love coming in for you. It's like, are you going to take the risk? This is a card of seduction. So I feel like you could be you're going to be very attracted to a person if you don't already have this person in your life. So I feel there's going to be a very seductive kind of element, a lot of like just raw attraction. You could have met this person last year, like during Jupiter and Pisces. And so, this, basically last year and a little bit the year before that, we had Jupiter and Pisces. And, we've had Jupiter in Aries. Now we have Jupiter in Taurus. But, so whatever. I'm trying to do the math in my head, but like last year at some point. And so you could have met this person like last year or the year before, right? Or you could have, they could have come into your awareness as well. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this Teeth card, and it says control, change. You have this Eye card, it says envy and protection on it. So again, I would be careful of a person who's envious of your success. It's definitely popping to my head. It could be an ex that is envious of the things that you do. or what you are trying to do in your life. I also feel like it's almost like you're giving up control, but I feel this is a good thing. The reason I say that is you have the Knight of Wands, the Two of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. Again, obviously I would be careful of any inconsistent people from the past, people who are easily influenced and all that other stuff as well. I also feel, again, a past person could come in, like it's almost like they're coming in a position of negotiation. Like they could try to negotiate with you and all this other stuff, but you can't negotiate love. It's impossible. So what I would say here is do not negotiate with this person if it's a past person. But I also feel that this is more talking about the control that you are taking. The control you're taking, I feel, has to do with flexibility. When we are flexible, we're actually more in control than if we try to, force something to happen a certain way, right? So I feel like you are taking control by being flexible, versatile, coming up with different ways of doing things. I always say that the Knight of Wands, he has like a specific goal on what he wants to achieve in his life. He has some sort of big goal, wish, dream, idea, but he doesn't really care how he gets there. He's willing to embrace the mystery. He's willing to come up with different ways of doing things, and he's willing to research different paths, different ways he can accomplish things. He's willing to experiment. All those things are going to be really beneficial for you. You have the Two of Cups here. It could also be a fire sign that you're attracting, by the way. But again, I feel like it's like a true match. Definitely, I said this to you last time, maybe. I think in your last reading or something. I feel like this person is very different. Again, Two of Cups, it's hard to get away from. They look very different. They come from two different worlds. So again, you could be attracting someone who is very different than your usual type, or there is some sort of difference here. Could be from another country, could be long distance, all those things, pop into my head here with the Two of Cups. So take it how it resonates. With the Nine of Swords, again, I feel like for this to kind of like take hold, I feel like you have to take control of your life and completely close out a past cycle. Maybe you need to block a past person or whatever. It's like some people have said to me that blocking a person is mean and all this other stuff. But, here's the thing. Yes, I think that's true, but if someone has done something to you that is like outrageous, I think it is perfectly acceptable to block a person. It's like even me, like this last year I blocked a person because I learned what they had done and it was just too much. It was like just too much to accept in my life. You know what I mean? It's like I think we have to draw certain standards and have certain boundaries in our life where if a person crosses those standards or those boundaries, they are not allowed in our life, plain and simple. And it's like, again, what I learned about this person, not to air my own dirty laundry here, but it was just too much. So in a way, I ghosted them. It ghosted this person, but again, when you do something that is just so wrong, it's almost like I don't think they deserve to be ghosted, but they definitely deserve to be completely cut out of my life. And so again, some of you could be making that decision where, and I don't think you should feel bad about it either. Is what I would say, especially if someone is so toxic. Then I would definitely protect yourself. Again, I was also getting something here with this Nine of Swords where it's almost like you could skip the part where you go like this, is how I see it, where it's like you find a certain level of success, then you come back down to baseline. And baseline is just like maintaining the status quo. So it's like maybe you get to this point where you're making $1 million. It's like you go up, you come down a little bit, you're making a certain amount of money every single year, but it just never goes up again, right? Until it becomes painful enough, until you maybe buy a BMW that you can't afford, and then you have to motivate yourself again to come up and form a new baseline. I feel like this is saying you can just go up like this. Yeah, there will always be ups and downs, of course, but it's like saying, as long as you're growing and, innovating in your life and coming up with new ideas and having new experiences, then, I feel like you're going the right direction. With the Knight of Wands, you have this Quarrel card. I would be careful of this person. Again, maybe you need to block this person, like I said, because they just start fights. With the Two of Cups, you have this Generosity card. I feel that will be the major difference. There is a major change in love going on. I feel like there's a major change in love going on in the world. I know it seems like super toxic right now. There are all these like podcasts out there. I see it on TikTok and stuff all the time. All these like super toxic podcasts where it's like both sides are toxic, men and women, right? I don't pick sides here. I think both sides are just as toxic as the other. So, there you go, right? I'm going to punish both sides, is what I'll say. But, right, super toxic stuff going on. And I know it seems really bad, but I actually think love is going to be improving in the world in general. So if you want a solid relationship, I feel like you could be attracting someone who's very generous, very giving, right here, all that other stuff. And again, probably because this person has been through it. So it's like, again, you could be attracting a person who's been through something very similar. Definitely could be a fire sign, by the way, if I didn't say that. You have so much fire here, wouldn't surprise me. Someone who's been through something very similar, and that's why they won't do it to you. With the Nine of Swords, you have this eccentricity card. Yes, we are in a time where, eccentric, weird ideas are going to be like the currency of the future. So doing weird stuff, coming up with unique ideas in work, business, career, that's how you're going to grow and be successful. There you go. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this TikTok card. I just said TikTok, and you have this chop wood card. Time to get to work. So I feel like it is time for you to get working on something. This is what you're going to be working on right here. We're going to talk about that in just a second, but I do feel it's time to get moving. Sorry, I wanted to do this. You have the Five of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, and the Three of Wands. Again, this is going to be good no matter what, this row, because it represents the good stuff. The Five of Pentacles is a card of feeling left out in the cold, but again, I feel like you are coming out of the cold and into the warmth, into the light, into happiness and joy and good things. So, it's kind of like you're leaving this energy behind. I also have something here about assistance. It seems to me like you could be getting assistance from a person. Five of Pentacles loosely represents assistance because they have this church behind them here. It's like they're out in the cold, but they could easily go inside that church and they could easily find sanctuary. The church represents a place of sanctuary. So for some of you, it's like I feel like you could be finding a place of sanctuary or success. You have the Nine of Wands here. Nine of Wands does say don't give up on the things that you want. But again, I feel like you're not giving up. It's showing up in the good stuff. I feel like you're giving something one last try. For some of you, definitely could be love. And again, I feel like it'll work out really well. Looks like you're attracting a very good person. For a lot of you as well, I feel like it could be in business. But again, I feel like this is what you're working towards, which is expansion, like true expansion, and also new experiences. I feel like maybe, life has been too boring. And it seems to me like this whole entire reading is really pretty simple. I feel like it's saying you're spicing things up. You're just making your life more exciting. You're having more experiences. You're looking to get out into the world or do things that you've never done before. I feel like you're getting off the nail, like I said earlier. With the Five of Pentacles, you have this extremism card. A couple of people have had this card. I don't really like this card right now just because of the astrology. And also, in a couple of years, in 2026, officially Neptune will move into Aries. I do not like Neptune in Aries. I am not very excited about that. It's an extreme energy, Neptune in Aries. I feel like we will see we'll probably see a lot of more extremism, or there could be certain extreme things like cults and things like that come about during that time. The trick is, again, I wouldn't be worried about it. The trick is, again, have your own mind, like think for yourself, basically, over these years to come. But, what I would say is, again, I feel like this could be a good thing because it is showing up in the good stuff. So, there could be like a good person who isn't extreme coming in for you. With the Nine of Wands, you have this harmony card. Yeah, a lot more peace entering into your life. And with the Three of Wands here, Capricorn, what do you know? You have this adaptability card. It's the name of the game. Everybody either gets a versatility, adaptability. There's like a million cards in this deck that all pretty much represent the same thing. And, adaptability or flexibility. And I feel like being flexible is kind of like going to be the thing that makes you very successful. We're pulling 5 main themes now. You have this thief card. Someone sees you being happy is what this is. I would avoid this past person, block them, do what you have to do because they are up to no good. I'm telling you right now. I'm not going to even spend a lot of time on it. You have this younger woman card. You could be the younger woman, or you could be attracting a younger woman into your life. I'm not even getting that's just love. There could be like a partner or business partner coming in for you as well. Whatever you're looking for. But I definitely feel if there's a younger person, they could really help you. You have this messenger. Everybody's had something about has had like messenger cards or letter cards in this deck. I'm wondering if, we've been in a time of waiting, by the way. So, again, it makes sense to me that maybe this quarter we're just getting answers we've been looking for, or if you've been like waiting for approval on something that you could be getting approval. Seems to be more collective though. You have this fortune card. Yeah, I do feel like you are increasing your fortune. Something is, it's a little bit different because I feel like a connection is making you fortunate. Like those are the words that are popping into my head. This does not have to be love. It could be, for some of you, it definitely could be a love connection that's, increasing your fortunes. But I also feel like it could be another type of connection. Like if you have a job that sucks, you could be making a connection to a new job that is much better. I would also, if you are looking for a new job, I would encourage you to make new connections. I feel like that could be how you will find a job, through networking, LinkedIn, going to business fairs, or like whatever it is that you do. I would be doing those things like networking. It makes sense because Pluto in Aquarius, again, that will be next year that Pluto officially moves into Aquarius, but that doesn't mean you can't work on it right now. So, I would get working. You have this house card. Didn't I say that? You have 3 house cards, right? Because you had the, where was it? You had the King of Cups, and then I thought you had another house card. I don't know. I could be making that up. But, there's something here about the home. Some of you could be moving or traveling or something like that. But the Wombat card, right? It said something about the home on it. So this looks pretty good here, Capricorn. I like where it's going. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your quarter.